Hey, thank you very much. Mr. Trump, thank you for being with us. Our viewers just watched this amazing rally. Sort of talk about what was the atmosphere like that for to be looking into that crowd?
Well, it was amazing. The crowd was fantastic. I guess they had 4,000 or 5,000 people here, and they had in another room 5,000 people. And by any standard, this was a great Wisconsin crowd, and I loved it. It was very hot in that room.
I don't know how you could breathe.
Yeah, it was pretty hot. I should have done this interview before as opposed to after, but it was an amazing crowd and great response. And I think we're doing really, really well in Wisconsin.
And for those people who are worried about global warming, it's snowing today too outside.
But it's beautiful up here. It's a beautiful part of the world.
Well, so we have we're in Wisconsin now, but we have New York coming up, and I'm curious. I really believe the turnaround of New York City came with Ed Koch, but the problem with Ed Koch was that he knew what had to be done, but he didn't have the will to do it, whereas Giuliani had the will to do it. You were right there on the line of scrimmage. Could you compare sort of the lessons of Koch and Giuliani?
I was there for both. And Ed Koch did a really good job in his first term, but as it started to get along, you understand, he started getting angry, and he wasn't like the same guy. Rudy came in. Rudy did a really, really good job when Rudy was mayor later on. When Rudy was mayor, he really did a wonderful job, and especially on crime. He wanted it ended, because New York City had a problem with crime, and Rudy really started that and did a great job.
The willingness to go after even the Fulton Fish Market.
Yeah, many things. Even the guy with the squeegees, they'd have people with squeegees all over the street. So you'd drive your car in, and you'd have somebody with the squeegees asking for money. The whole thing was a very unpleasant deal. And Rudy Giuliani went and did a good job, really good job.
I've spoken to a number of people as we sort of follow you around, sir. I've talked to ministers. I talked to Al in New Hampshire.
Right. Al is great.
How Al described to me how you asked him what needs to be done with veterans. And I've talked to a number of people who have worked with you one-on-one to develop these things. You seem to have a personal curiosity about what you can learn from someone. What do you learn when you talk to a Giuliani?
Well, I do, and I learned from Rudy, and I learned from somebody like Al. Al with the veterans has been so incredible. We won New Hampshire, and we got a tremendous amount of the veterans voting for us. I think no matter where we go, the veterans vote for me, because I'm the only one that ever mentions them in the speeches. The veterans are not being treated fairly. But you learn a lot from guys like Al. He devotes his life to the veterans, and a guy like Rudy, who's been, a great mayor and a great guy, and gets it. He really gets it. And so it's great to have them as my friend.
On the plane with Chris Christie.
Right.
What are the kinds of things that you guys talk about?
Well, Chris is another one. I mean, he was just so effective when he campaigned, and I got to know him even better. He's been a friend of mine for probably 15 years, but Chris Christie has been amazing and a really tough competitor. I mean, I had to go against him, and I want to tell you, he was a tough competitor in terms of the race. But when he called and he sees what's happening, it's a movement. Nobody has this. The other people left, they had like 200 people and 300 people, and we had, 8,000 people? Because, we had a hall next door that was holding 5,000 in addition to the 3,000 or 4,000 people we had.
People are on top of each other in there.
It's amazing. It's an amazing scene. And it's Wisconsin. You wouldn't think you have these gorgeous open spaces, but they came from all over Wisconsin to see it. And then I'm going to another one now. I'm going to another rally. And then on Sunday I have a couple more, and on Monday I have a couple. So let's
go. So this